Hey, it's Randy. What I got in the work stand today is this Mongoose Sycamore mountain bike. I'm guessing from I don't know, early 90s maybe. Uh, I just picked this up at this year's swap meet. And as I kind of suspected and then confirmed after just riding it, the bike's just a little too small for me. And I'm not sure any change in the cockpit would help with that. But I did think I would go ahead and give drop bars on it a try just for kicks. But what I'll probably end up doing is just tearing it down and using these parts on a different build. So anyway, let's see what it's like with drop bars. I don't know how these brake and shift levers are even mounted. The shift lever's connected to the brake lever. Okay, I guess that's the first time I've encountered that. They kind of like road bike levers, I suppose. These grips are in great shape for being these foam grips. I don't think this bike was ridden much and was always stored inside. Yeah, I guess I've never worked on this style of brake lever shifter combination, whatever. I like how from the factory these handlebars are painted to match the frame. Well, I don't think that's going to work either. That's just, I think it'll be too much drop for my liking. So this stem a little taller and more rise. I got the bars up a little higher, but I'm still not sure about that. Plus these are pretty narrow. The bars I had on there before were like gravel bars, I guess. They had a little bit of flare to them. Of course, those bars won't fit in this stem. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just abandon this altogether, like I said, and just salvage parts off of it for now. I sure like the colors of the frame, though. That's what really attracted me to the bike. Okay, I got things going with these drop bars. I hooked up the front brake and the rear derailleur to this shifter, but the reach is still too short. The bike's too short, I guess. So I think we'll abandon this idea. So change of plans. Before I strip the bike down, I think I'm going to hook up the rear brake, put on some beefier tires, and take it over to my local single track trails. I think that might be fun. Instead of those first tires I pulled out, I think I'm going to go with these CST Cyclops. Hopefully they fit. They're even bigger. I think the others were 2.125 and these are 26 by 2.4. So we'll see if those will fit in there. So these are a no-go. They don't clear the U-brake down there. Yeah, they won't budge. So I guess I'll try the other ones. Okay, those are going to work. I sure like to use those ones that these are wider than, I think these are 1.95s. And these are 2.125. Get the front one on there. Okay, now to get that rear brake cabled up. I got the rear brake cabled up, which is kind of a pain. Okay, I may need to do a little adjustment on these pads. I'm going to swap out these pedals. I'm going to remove this outer chain ring. I'm going to take that inner chain ring off also, so I got to take the crank off. Well, while I had the crank off, I decided to put on a different chain ring. What was on there was BioPace. I think this is about the same tooth count that the middle chain ring was on the other. I'm putting in way more work than I'd intended to, but I just can't help myself. So I just hauled the bike over here to my local single track. I'm kind of short on time, plus 25-mile-an-hour wind that I really didn't want to have to deal with. Anyway, let's see if it's any fun. I forgot to adjust the brakes like I said I was going to. Try and do a quick recap here of what this is. So we started with a stock Mongoose Sycamore mountain bike. I converted it to drop bar and one by, it was an 18 speed. Now it's 1x6 Shimano Exage derailleur and crank. And I changed out the crank ring. It was a chain ring. It was originally Biopace. Oh, these rims are Araya. The tires, there's some cheap tire from Blackburn. So we got just a friction stem shifter here. Diacomp brake levers. And these are Exage brakes. I think they're Joytech hubs. Really rides pretty good. Well, my only complaints, other than, of course, being a little bit too small, my bar tape here is not the most comfortable. That's a ratchet strap. And then I could use some brake hoods, or brake hood covers. I pinched myself in there earlier. Just about did it again. So, I think that's about it. I think I'll ride another lap and then head back to the car, but I'm just going to go ahead and end this video here. Change of plans. I just swapped out the drop bars for these Bull Moose bars. I just can't seem to let this thing go. So another thing I've done to attempt to get the bike to fit a little bit better is I swapped out the saddle. This one's just a little bit longer, and I think the rail's a little bit longer, so I could scoot it back farther. But then the problem I had is I couldn't get the seat level with this seat post. No matter how much tilt I tried to give it, it was always going down a little bit. So I don't know if you can see it, but I put a little bit of a shim up under there to get the right angle I want. So we'll see if that holds up. So here we are in Bull Moose bar mode, and I just put back on the original shifter. It is indexed for the 6-speed. The bike ride's really good. Just a little, still just ever so slightly too cramped for me, I think, though. Well, I think that's enough of this bike for a while. Who knows what the future has in store for it. So Nova's giving the bike a try. We'll see if she likes it well enough to keep it around. So I'm just going to end this video here, as always.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you